Holstein America is sponsored by Merck Animal Health, an industry leader in dairy care solutions, including Estromate and Fertigil. Visit dairycare365.com to learn more.
It's summer across America, a time for family, friends, and our favorite treat, a cold scoop of ice cream. It's a delicious experience made possible by the world's perfect cow, the U.S. registered Holstein. And it's a reminder of the people who made it all possible.
Cattle breeding and breeding great Holsteins is a passion of mine. It's been a family farm here for almost 120 years, and our goal is to still be in business 120 years from now.
And I think the Holstein cow has really been bred and developed as being the perfect milk-making animal.
If you compare other countries, United States Holsteins and the dairy industry in the United States is an elite industry and far advanced.
This is Holstein America. Hello, I'm Michelle Davidson. Nothing says summer or speaks to the enjoyment of life quite like ice cream. Every day, countless people across America journey into an ice cream parlor like this one to find their favorite flavor and pause for a moment to enjoy the sweet summertime treat. Behind it all is the Holstein Cow. With her distinctive black and white color, she's the most iconic symbol in all of agriculture. Today, the Holstein Cow accounts for more than 90% of U.S. milk production, and she makes ice cream like this possible for all of us to enjoy. Her secret is how she efficiently converts sunlight, water, and feed into milk, protein, and cream. And it takes dedicated farm families to make it happen. We travel first to Iowa to meet the Hansons. From their farm-fresh creamery, they provide customers with delicious dairy products courtesy of registered Holsteins.
We are at Hanson's Dairy Farms in Hudson, Iowa. Having the kids here is amazing. They see a lot. They have a lot of fun doing it. They are showing some responsibilities around the farm, doing their own chores.
Our kids, the 7th generation of kids, is growing up here, and we do hope that we've been able to show them the importance of the family farm, the hard work that it takes that goes into it, but how rewarding it can be as well. There's so many things about the farm that are a benefit to us, just not only from a livelihood perspective, but just the sense of accomplishment that you get and standing outside and watching all those cows and how happy and healthy they are. It's just, it's almost like watching your own kids grow up too, you know.
It's very easy to fall asleep at night when your body is exhausted, but it's worth it. And it's always easy for me to get up in the morning and come out and see the ladies. There hasn't been one day I did not want to get out of bed, so we'll keep going with that. We farm 450 acres of crops. Most of those crops are raised to feed the cows. We milk 150 cows twice a day and bottle our own milk here on the farm. We have an on-farm creamery, which also produces milk, butter, cheese, and ice cream, along with some heavy whipping cream and chocolate milk. It's always a pleasure to see the dairy products go out in someone else's hands, and it's a pure satisfaction to see the smiles on their faces when they take that first lick of ice cream. I've always enjoyed the registered cow because I'm a big believer in family trees and trying to make a cow better, trying to make them live longer and trying to get the most production out of them, trying to give them a better life to live. And now that the 7th generation is on the farm here, they can also look back and at the same information that I have, and so it's going to be easier for them to look back at these pedigrees and ask themselves, hey, where did this cow come from? How productive was she? How productive was her great-grandma?
We feel like it's our responsibility to be transparent about agriculture and how the cows are raised here. So once it gets nice here in the spring, we have lots of tour groups that come in daily. It's enjoyable to be teaching people every day about where their food comes from. The Hansons Dairy Tour Center was built in 2012. While they're here, we have a trolley that takes them down to the farm. And then while they're there, they take the tour on foot and they get to interact with the cows and the calves. They can pet our kangaroos and feed our kangaroos, which is our farm mascot.
A lot of the tourists that come here, they like to see the names of the cows because it personalizes them. It's almost like they feel like they own part of them. You know, they drink their milk and they feel like it's their cow when they can put a name to that gallon jug.
It's just so rewarding. We've been so blessed to be able to live out that dream of feeding our community and keep going with the family business. A lot of people, I think, are surprised, you know, that we've got 4 brothers that are all living and working together here on the farm. And so that is something that stands out for people. I think they remember that we're very family oriented and we're producing a product that we want to be good for their family too.
One delicious scoop at a time, Americans enjoy about 5.5 gallons of ice cream per person every year. Starting with parlors like this one, the ice cream industry contributes almost 190,000 jobs nationwide. And the overall dairy business generates nearly $40 billion for the national economy. None of this would be possible without the efficient, quality-focused Holstein cow and the people who care for her, like this Wisconsin family.
My children would be the 7th generation dairying in this area. That's a long time. So I think we built something pretty special here for them to keep up, so we'll see. Really?
See, I told you.
We are here at Keller, Crest, Registered Holsteins Incorporated. Our mom and dad, Daniel and Jeannie, started the farm in 1959. 1968 is when they bought the first registered cattle for the farm and eventually developed it into a 100% registered Holstein herd. Our dad, 84 years old now, is still here pretty much every day. He's our waste management specialist. He hauls the manure.
I would have been, 6 years old when I was in 68. I would pick out a bull in the bull book, and of course sometimes Dad goes, well, that bull costs too much money, but I said, yeah, but he's the best one. I think you look at the old bull books back at the time, the mating bull books, and I would look at that all the time and thought, God, I want to have cows like that someday.
Tim and I work together. We've been partnership up now over 17 years when we set Keller, Crest, Registered Holsteins Incorporated, did our expansion from the traditional 60 cow Wisconsin dairy up to 300 cows, more modern day facilities, better cow care with it. We both enjoy working with registered cattle. We like working with good cattle.
Feet, legs, and udders. Without those two, you don't have a cow. And components. Being in the cheese area of the world, you need components. This is our calf care center. We built this about 6 years ago or so. Better airflow, better space, better convenience of cleaning and taking care of them. You want good cows, it starts right here. It starts with the baby calf.
Cow comfort's probably the basis for everything because comfortable cows are healthy cows. Healthy cows make milk, make clean milk, good low somatic cell count, high quality milk.
The most important thing for us is taking care of our cattle. I know there's these stereotypes you get out there and things like that. People hear things, they read things. So we take them around, show them what we do, how we do it, why we do it. No questions are off limit. When we're weaning a calf, When they're done weaning, we'll actually pull these panels out, and these 3 calves can all get together then, and it's like what they call their social interacting together for the next level when they move on to a bigger group. So it's a small group, then move to a little bigger group.
The better we treat our animals, the better they treat us, is one of our slogans on the farm. We use sand bedding. We stand out in the middle of the freestyle barn when there's 300 animals there, and I tell the people, you hear any animals bellowing? You hear any noise out here? And it's quiet. All that you see is cows laying down, chewing their cud, standing there eating. Quiet animals are very content. That means they're being taken care of. And we enjoy seeing kids with smiles on your face when you sit and talk about making ice cream and custards and yogurts and things like that.
I think the registered business, registered Holsteins in general, has opened up the world to us, I guess, is one way I might put it. The people we've met because of the registered Holstein cow is incredible. We got friends in Japan, Germany, other parts of the world, and what's also really neat is people come here and they actually want some of our genetics, something I never dreamed of as a kid. It's amazing how the cow brings people together.
Future, who knows? I mean, right now it's a little scary the way milk prices have been lately and things like that. Probably working with the registered cattle over the years has helped us on some of the highs and lows. Some of the lows, you got some extra cattle sometimes, you can still sell some animals and get some extra value out of them.
You keep chugging at it and hope for the better. Again, I mean, the cycles go up and down all the time. It's just the way the industry always has been. I got 2 kids, 21 and 19. I mean, they both enjoy this business a lot. Whether they come back and are part of it or not, that's up to them. We'll see what happens, but if they want to do it, I will help them. If they don't, they don't. I mean, I'm not going to force them into something. It's their life too,
2 years ago, we're at the national sale, and she's like, buy, 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 buy. It was some fancy show calf. I said, no, no, no. Well, then last year, buy, buy, buy. So we ended up buying this one last year. She did the bidding. It wasn't big money by any means, but
got a nice heifer.
Got a nice heifer out of it. Great pedigree. So what are you gonna do with her?
Well, right now she's just a show heifer. That's what we bought her for. We'll hopefully see what kind of cow she becomes.
And breed off of that?
Yep.
When we return, we'll continue our journey from the ice cream parlor to farms across America and celebrate the U.S. registered Holstein, the world's perfect cow.
Fertigil from Merck Animal Health makes fertility simple. On-label use with Estromate helps synchronize estrus cycles, allows for fixed-time AI, and treatment of ovarian follicular cysts in dairy cows. Plus, research shows Fertigil outperformed Factrel for ovulation rates. Fertigil, the flexibility you need, the quality you demand. Now approved to get the job done. Learn more at dairycare365.com.
Illuminate your herd's genetic potential with Enlight. Enlight is a comprehensive online management tool designed to help Holstein dairy producers more efficiently manage herd genetics. A collaboration between the Holstein Association USA and Zoetis. Enlight users have unprecedented access to powerful reporting and analytics, and in a simple and user-friendly format that works on any computer or tablet. Put your herd data to work. Enroll in Enlight. Learn more at enlightdairy.com.
If you think your dairy cows are completely safe from internal parasites, think again. Cows returning to the milking line from grass or dry lots could be at risk. Keep them healthy and productive with Safeguard Dewormer from Merck Animal Health. Safe to use on lactating cows, a dose of Safeguard at freshening can help ensure cows and heifers are clean of costly internal parasites. Greater efficiency, greater production. That's what you can count on from Safeguard. Visit safeguardcattle.com to learn more.
The Holstein Marketplace, your ultimate source for buying or selling registered Holsteins. Holstein Association USA provides effective, affordable advertising opportunities through the Holstein Marketplace to help breeders optimize their investment. quality genetics, maximum profit. Visit HolsteinUSA.com/marketplace to browse listings or submit an ad today.
Holstein America is broadcast with support from Merck Animal Health. Trust in leading products Estrumate and Fertigil to improve reproductive performance in your dairy herd. Visit dairycare365.com to learn more.
Americans have been enjoying ice cream since our country's founding. The nation's first ice cream parlor opened in New York City in 1776. And President George Washington loved ice cream so much that he served it in the White House. Since then, the ice cream industry has grown with the ever-changing tastes of the American consumer. And today, you can buy about any delicious flavor that you can dream up. In 2017, the dairy industry produced 1.3 billion gallons of ice cream, and nearly 90% of all consumers have ice cream in their freezers. The Holstein Cow, because she produces more milk, butterfat, and protein than any other dairy breed, makes enough milk each day for about 6 gallons of ice cream. It's a miraculous story that unfolds on America's dairy farms, like this one.
We've been here a long time on both sides of the family. Originally, they was back in the Midwest in Missouri and Nauvoo, and most of them was here before about 1870. Me and my father started a dairy when I was about 12. We built a little barn and wanted to milk cows. He says, I think we ought to milk cows. Of course, I was interested. So we built the whole barn, poured the floor. You know, I built the stanchions, I built the mangers, I did everything. That's the way we started cows, and I still have the test sheet from those first 12 cows, and I can still remember their names. They all had names. Can't remember nothing now, but I can still remember their names. And I just always liked cows. I actually arrived at an analogy that I figured up if you didn't grow up with a good horse and a good dog, you didn't know much about what was going on. So those two things are key. This valley is we're about 2.5 hours south of Salt Lake. We're between halfway in the middle of the state. We're in what you call a high plains desert. We're on the very western slopes of the Rocky Mountains. We can grow good feed here. The basis of our ration is alfalfa hay, so we have lots of good alfalfa hay, and that's the main component in our feed. We feed a high level of hay. We have lots of space. We don't have to confine everything. The heifers behind me are in a field of about 250, 300 acres. They're all dry lot. We just fence line feed them, and in the winter and summer, they're just out there in the sagebrush on some sandy hills. They do very well. Most dairymen milk cows if they have property so they can buy big tractors and have nice equipment, have fun with all these things, be able to make a living. There's really a minority of the dairymen that milk cows because they're interested in breeding. I'm much more interested in breeding cattle, just like their pedigrees and our genealogy on my ancestors. I love to know who they were, and the thing that's the biggest challenge to me is improved conformation and production. Holstein Association USA, they're the depository of all our records. They're the depository of our pedigrees. And so when I need information for marking or something like that, through pedigrees and registrations, those things are available to me. I can have them at any time. I can get the records of my cows. Not only that, then I'm able to find the pedigrees and who they are, and be able to make decisions for improvement. If you compare other countries, United States Holsteins and the dairy industry in the United States is an elite industry and far advanced compared to any other country. The Holstein cow, she's the one that's the most popular. She's the one that everybody comes here to get genetics from. She's the one that over the last 100 years we've developed and improved. We can see those developments and improvement. There's other breeds, but the Holstein cow has provided dairymen who have them with the way they breed and the way they produce. The reason people have them is because they're satisfied. They're satisfied with the way they breed. They're satisfied with their improvement. They're satisfied with the amount of product that they basically produce. And that's why they've become really the backbone of the American dairy industry. They've become the backbone of the dairy industry in the world, is the U.S. Holstein cow.
Whether you're in California or New England or places in between, almost all dairy farms are family-owned and operated. Most dairies are facing difficult economic times these days. In many cases, the price farmers receive for their milk is less than the cost of production. But some families are adopting new technologies, like robotics, to help them reduce dependency on labor and remain competitive into the future, like in the next chapter of our story.
This area, we call it paradise. It's predominantly dairy country. I walk from that door to that door every morning, and that's the best part of my day. I would never, ever want to do anything else.
We've been at this location since 1990. Currently milk 450 cows altogether and have about the same number of young stock.
We milk our cows with 4 robots and a double-6 herringbone parlor. And the robots are put in, and it'll be 3 years ago this September.
You know, it's a modern way to milk cows. I think the boys spend more time now in the barn and working with the cows than they did before we had the robots, but it's better quality time. They're not milking cows, they're doing things that are making them more profitable.
It's a voluntary system, so the cow does have to come herself. She comes in, then it starts dispensing her grain slowly, and then starts the pre-treatment on the cow and puts the machine on.
So this is an A4 Lely robot. So this is what you would call the arm. So there's six tubes going back to the inside of the box. This jar is pumped out after every cow. This cow just came in, so she's already gotten brushed once. It came back and had a peroxide disinfectant. She's getting brushed again with some air to dry the teat off before the machine goes on. As soon as the brush comes away, you can see a red light that's going to come on. So the laser's up in here, and that's what's going to find the coordinates of the cow to put the cups on individually of each quarter. Underneath here in this arm is where the milk is getting, so we're getting milk temperature, we're getting conductivity, and a whole bunch of other stuff, but those are kind of the big ones. So we're getting that on individual quarters. And so then all that information is getting sent back to the computer, and each cow has certain levels based on what their normal history is, and if cows are above or below certain levels, they get flagged and put on a health report list to get checked out and see if they have any problems. I mean, we're just paying attention to the cows, and so she's given 25.8 pounds so far. Just making sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
As far as the cow comfort, our cows are so happy. And they get up and they get milk when they want, and they're not pushing to a holding area, and we really like the way they take care of the cow. If the boys have a game to go to or something you want to go to do, you can go do it, and just leave. You might have to come back later, but you can kind of set your schedule to what you want. Your life's a little easier that way.
We're always trying to get better, and we're always trying to do better, and working with registered Holsteins and being able to use those bulls and use everything that comes with it, I think is just helps us.
We just like being on the program. We like the classifying program, and I do think it increases the value of our cows. We like good, big size cows that give a lot of milk and have good, healthy feet and legs, and I think being in the registered business, that kind of gets us what we want in our cattle.
Well, it's just nice being together. It's nice working together. Kids are always here. It's great having all the family here. It really is.
We're all hard workers. We appreciate what we have. I think we appreciate having each other all here on the farm. It's just nice to be able to count on one another for that.
My father told me 40 years ago that farming was going to get better. You know, I'm not sure it ever has, but I'm going to say the same thing he said. I think there's a future in dairy farming. I think there's always going to be that need. People want to farm it. I think the Northeast is a good place to be. I really do.
When we come back, we'll see how the Holstein business is an opportunity for farmers both small and large.
Heifer rearing costs are the second biggest expense for most dairies. With Estrumate from Merck Animal Health, you can expedite breeding and save feed costs. And your first calf heifers can join the milking string and start generating income sooner, easily justifying the investment. Plus, Estrumate improves heats, conception, and pregnancy rates, allowing you to use AI more conveniently and more effectively control breeding and calving intervals. Estrumate. Bring the heat. Learn more at dairycare365.com.
Technology for the future. Robotic systems offer a wealth of production metrics with each milking. And now, Holstein Association USA offers a way to link automated milk records, or AMR, into their trusted TriStar Records program. TriStar AMR allows production information collected by robotics to be incorporated into official Holstein pedigrees. More data, more value for U.S. registered Holsteins. Learn more at HolsteinUSA.com.
If you think your dairy cows are completely safe from internal parasites, think again. Cows returning to the milking line from grass or dry lots could be at risk. Keep them healthy and productive with Safeguard Dewormer from Merck Animal Health. Safe to use on lactating cows, a dose of Safeguard at freshening can help ensure cows and heifers are clean of costly internal parasites. Greater efficiency, greater production. That's what you can count on from Safeguard. Visit safeguardcattle.com to learn more.
Holstein America is brought to you by our friends at Merck Animal Health, the industry's leading provider in dairy care solutions. Fertigil improves pregnancy rates and works with Estrumate to achieve estrus synchronization in lactating dairy cows. Visit dairycare365.com to learn more.
Welcome back. The U.S. dairy industry is a diverse and complex enterprise with fluctuating markets and changing consumer preferences. No breed is better positioned to help America's dairy industry weather tough times like the reliable registered Holstein cow. It's also the programs and services provided by Holstein Association USA, offering dairy farmers information for better breeding and management, and a community of people who are committed to the world's perfect cow, like our next two families.
Tell me about this heifer. This is actually my Showmanship heifer. She won her class at the Lodi Fair this weekend, and she actually was pulled out for champion selection. It's just fun because they all have they have different attitudes. Like, people don't believe me when I say that, but every heifer, you can bond to them differently. It's just funny to see how they act. You get pretty connected with them, seeing them every day.
We have 3 kids, and all our kids really do a lot of stuff on the farm, and one of the things we do as a family is we do a lot of showing together, and the kids are responsible for washing the cattle, breaking them to lead. You know, it's almost a full-time summer job to get their projects ready to go to the fair. Yeah, so Lauren has been showing, I think she's been showing for 8 years now. One of her specialties is showmanship, and being able to take that calf that has never gone to a show and work with it and understand how to get her to lead and to show her off the very best way. And you got to win gracefully and humbly, and it also teaches you to, when you lose, to not carry on and make a fuss. You just got to accept that somebody else won today, and you know, if we go congratulate them, you hope someday they come congratulate you and you have a good day.
My mom and dad started this farm in 1961. They started milking with 40 cows and kind of grew to over 80 cows kind of in the early 80s, and kept that size till I came back from college. And I was home from college about 5 or 6 years, and we grew to the 400 cows that we have today. Well, we milk three times a day, and then basically, you know, a dairy runs 24/7, 365 days a year. There's always cows to feed and cows to care for, and so we have registered Holsteins, and we really try to use the best genetics available. We're breeding for kind of a complete cow. We want a cow that looks good, produces a lot of high component milk, high protein, high butter fat, and we want that cow to have a good udder, good feet and legs, and be very feed efficient so that the feed she consumes, she turns to milk. And then we also concentrate more on the health traits all the time. So we want a cow that is easy to breed, easy to calve. So we're always looking at our farm every day to get better, figure out how to get better. And when you're selecting for genetics and selecting, you know, based on data, is you need to have data that's managed well and from an organization that has a lot of integrity. And I really think the Holstein Association does a really good job of sort of summarizing, managing that data in an unbiased way to give us the very best information that we can use on the farms. 5 or 10 years from now, where we want to be is we want to keep improving our dairy herd and continue to, you know, potentially have opportunity for my kids to come back to the farm. And the Holstein Association helps us get to our future by, you know, offering the programs that we can use to, you know, evaluate what kind of cows, what kind of Holstein cow is the most valuable, and helping us sort of move our herd in that direction. And it's a big part of our team.
Here at King's Ransom, we milk about 1,000 cows 3 times a day, all Holsteins and all registered. We've been that way ever since I was a youngster. My dad started the farm back in the early 60s. He moved to Holsteins in the early 70s. He had to come up with a new name at the time when he transitioned into Holsteins, and so he came up with the idea of King's Ransom as if our cattle were worthy of a King's Ransom. My brother and I both grew up with registered cows, and I think our interest in Holstein genetics probably was sparked early on when we were showing cows, when we were young 4-H'ers and showing at our county fair, local shows. When genomics came into play a number of years ago, we grabbed a hold of it. We genomic test everything that's born on the dairy now, and we've been pretty darn pleased with the results of using high genomic young bulls for a few generations in a row. I think it's an exciting time in cattle genetics because we're seeing such performance out of those elite performers. In our dairy, we've really tried to focus on more fat because not only is it more valuable in our commercial milk check, it's certainly valuable in our milk processing business as well. So I think if we intensively focus on a goal, we can really see some changes quickly, and we can see that result in the performance of our cattle quickly. Some folks are really enamored with the fact that we genomic test them. When we can show them and explain to them some of those processes, it really resonates with the consumers. When they think about it, the fact that we're able to genomic test and identify bloodlines that maybe have greater longevity in the herd, or maybe will produce more milk per pound of feed, our ability to produce more from the same number of acres, we certainly get a lot of connection with our consumers, and they come back to us to buy milk products and dairy products because of that trust, because they believe we're doing things right. Our home delivery is, it's really neat because a lot of people, for them, it takes them back to maybe when they were kids or maybe when their parents were even kids and they talked about getting milk delivered right to their doorstep. And we really do virtually the same thing now. We bottle milk in glass. So we've got trucks on the road almost every day of the week. It's a really neat experience to connect directly with the consumer who is enjoying your product. Mothers will say, My kids won't drink anything else. You know, that we ran out of your milk, we went to the local convenience store and they said, why are you buying this? We only want King's milk. So that really makes you feel good. And it's no different in the Holstein and the genetics business. When you sell somebody some embryos or a young cow and they go on to perform well for them and they're really happy with that, that just makes you feel good as a producer, whether it's cattle genetics or dairy products. For the Holstein breed in general, I think there's a very bright future, because with the genetics that we have and the variation of genetics that we have, that combined with some of the genomic selection practices we can use, we're able to really make advances quickly. Certainly, cattle breeding and breeding great Holsteins is a passion of mine. It's been a family farm here for almost 120 years, and our goal is to have a business that can sustain itself and still be in business 120 years from now. I really look forward to every day that I spend on my dairy.
Holstein America will be back right after this informational segment from our friends at Merck Animal Health.
My wife Stacy and I run this farm together. We have about 650 cows, both lactating and dry, in a 10-row cross fence here in Luxembourg, Wisconsin, in beautiful Kewanee County, northeast Wisconsin. Cows are averaging right around 102 to 104 pounds per cow per day in the tank shipped to the plant. My thought process is on milk. High milk prices and low milk prices are the same. If it makes sense in $25 milk, it better make sense in $12 milk, and vice versa. So if a pre-sink off-sink makes sense when you're making money, it better make sense when you're not making money, because sound reproduction is a core necessity of every dairy farm, in my opinion. And so getting cows cycling back, getting cows in heat, getting them to settle, that's something that's vitally important no matter the milk price. So we'll use Estromate if she doesn't show a heat to get her cycling. Anytime you can manipulate the follicular waves of that animal, you can speed up the process. Days are money, time is money, and right now our cows are averaging 103 days is our average days in milk at conception. So the pre-sink off-sink really helps us to achieve that. Our first service conception rates on 2-year-olds is in the 60s, and on older cows it's in the mid-50s. With using Estromate and Fertigil together for the pre-sink off-sink, it's an easy protocol to follow. We've been doing it for years. We got our timing, I think, dialed in pretty good. And also with the program that Merck has set up, if you use both of them, it's very cost effective. So it just fits the program real well. You can always get better, so always looking for improvements and watching what happens here every day. It's kind of fun to see how things play out some days, and some days it's not so fun, but that's the roll of the dice we take every day. The future's wide open.
Visit dairycare365.com to learn more. Merck Animal Health is proud to sponsor Holstein America and bring the best cattle care solutions to the nation's dairy farmers. Fertigil and Estromate are proven to enhance reproductive efficiency and productivity. Visit dairycare365 to learn more.
Welcome back. On a hot summer day, ice cream is one of life's most pleasurable experiences, and so is a cold glass of milk, real milk. One of the challenges for consumers today is knowing what's really milk and what's not. Confusion comes from many beverages labeled incorrectly as milk, ones that are actually water-based and made from nuts, seeds, or vegetables, not cows. And the differences don't stop there. Animal sources of protein, like those found in dairy products, deliver essential amino acids typically not found in other protein sources. Real milk is still the most nutritious choice for you and your family. So on your next trip to the grocery store, keep in mind that when you purchase dairy products, you're supporting good people who've made a commitment to raising productive registered Holsteins, like these folks.
Everything starts on the farm, from the clothes you wear, to the shoes on your feet, to the bowl of cereal you ate this morning, started on the farm. And we teach them how the dairy works. We teach them about the process from the cow and the farm all the way to here to the creamery. To hear a kid be able to say, We were at the dairy and those cows were being milked, and now I'm drinking this milk and they're so excited. That means we're doing our job well. That means we're educating children on their future.
We're at Crest Dairy in Claremont, Georgia today. And we started milking cows here 3.5 years ago. We also have a Mountain Fresh Creamery that's about 2 miles up the road. We've been open there now for 7 years.
So when we opened the Creamery in 2011, we were at a point where we were dairy farming in North Georgia, where the price of land at that time was astronomical. We're only about an hour north of Atlanta, but we wanted to remain dairying in this area because Scott and I both were from this area, so that was real important to us.
And our facilities were designed to be able to bring folks out so we could do tours. We just felt like that was a big part of what we were trying to do. From the Creamery standpoint, it gives us an opportunity to promote not only our products, but to be able to promote dairy in general. We wanted folks to be able to come out and actually see what it's really like on a working dairy. So they get to see everything we've got. I mean, from the baby calves to the cows in the barns, to actually being able to watch the cows being milked in the parlor. Well, the biggest thing that we want people to take away from the tours that we do is the fact that we have really well cared for animals. You know, that's our #1 concern. Our #1 goal is to take care of our cows. And you know, we take a lot of pride in the quality of milk that we produce, and that can only be achieved by taking really good care of your animals. Of course, we're in Georgia, so the southeast, so we have some pretty hot summers, and our summers tend to want to drag on for quite a few months. So when we built our freestyle barn, we wanted to be able to keep our cows as cool as possible. So the cows are really comfortable in the barn with plenty of fans and then water sprinkler system on the cows' backs to keep them cool in the summer. We also have rubber mats in the freestyle barn, along with the cow brushes. And recently we have transitioned to water beds, and the cows have really adapted to those well. You know, we try to do everything that we can do to make these cows as comfortable as we can, but we also try to be able to do it as efficiently as we can from a worker standpoint. Holsteins have just always been a part of my life. I'm a 4th-generation dairy farmer, grew up with my grandfather, great-grandfather, my dad, but my uncle, Steve Crumley, got into registered cows probably in the early 80s. I guess his passion for the registered side of it kind of filtered over into me, and Holsteins have just been a real efficient cow for us. Being in the southeast in a fluid milk market, we want to be able to produce as much milk as we can, and Holsteins obviously are better milk producers than any of the other breeds. And for us, being that we have a creamery, and components mean a lot to us as well. And we've been able to achieve a 4% butter fat with the Holsteins and good protein. So we feel like the Holsteins are just a better fit for us. Our biggest goal for our creamery, I think right now, is to continue to try to grow, is to continue to try to promote fluid milk. Our ice cream is our biggest seller, biggest hit, obviously, but we really got into the business of bottling milk to promote fluid milk. We just feel like that people have lost or really don't put enough emphasis on the value of milk, and we would like to reverse that trend.
We take a lot of pride in being able to provide our community with milk from our farm, so they know their farmer. We have a lot of people that come into the creamery solely just to buy their milk and dairy products from us because they know how particular we are about things that are happening on our farm. So I think that is one of the reasons that we've been so successful.
It's really good to be able to connect with people, to talk with people, and to explain that for us to be profitable, our cows have got to be well cared for. And so it's really good to be able to see the people come in and our customers, and it never fails whenever you're having a bad day or things are not going well. You go by the creamery and somebody's walking out and they look at you and they say, "We're really glad you're here." And that just makes it all worthwhile.
We moved to this facility in 1967. It was 100 cows on 100 acres. The farm now is about 250 acres. We're milking about 840 registered Holstein cows. There's about 911 young stock that are under 2 years of age. Well, when Dad bought the original dairy in 1967, there was some registered Holsteins that came along with it. So he got into it by default.
A dairy of our size in California has almost become an anomaly. Typically, average herd size in California now is reaching somewhere between 1,200 and 1,400 cows. And so really the only way that we have a chance to survive here is to maximize what we have available to us in terms of our facility resources, our land resources, and obviously our human resources.
We're one of the highest producing Holstein herds in the state of California. Our dad was always one that strived to do things right every day, which meant cow comfort, nutrition, animal health. And he was always a proponent that the more production you get per unit, the more profitable you would be. And that's been kind of ingrained in us also. My middle son, who's really quite in tune with genetics, also sees a tremendous value in animals that stay healthy, having come from a large commercial herd in the Midwest. So daughter preg rate, somatic cell score, feed efficiency, all of those are going to get additional attention going forward, as well as components and high production. I think that if you're going to make genetic progress, you can't ignore incorporating genetic bulls into your breeding program. We immediately understood and put value on genetics. And I think the registered Holstein kept that on the front burner for us so that we were able to use our knowledge that was provided by the Holstein Association, as well as our friendships that were in the Holstein breed, to breed a better cow, to be more profitable. And so registered Holstein probably helped us get to that objective quicker than if we were a non-registered herd. And so you're going to get what you breed for. And so that's been our laser focus. We've got 2-year-olds in the herd now that are averaging over 5% with over 100 pounds of milk. Our goal is in the next 2 generations to have a whole herd that's going to test north of 4% with the 3-5 protein and over 100 pounds of milk.
I think it's important for everybody to realize that the dairy business and dairy farming itself it's in your blood. It's something that you love, it's our passion. Obviously, it's the way that we provide for our families and it's what we have chosen as a profession. But we truly believe that if we do a good job here, we provide a tremendous product for the consumers on the other end. It's done with passion and a strict attention to detail.
When we return, we'll bring you the story of Charlie Hamilton, a young man who embodies the spirit of the registered Holstein business and dairies across America.
Fertigil from Merck Animal Health makes fertility simple. On-label use with Estrumate helps synchronize estrus cycles, allows for fixed-time AI, and treatment of ovarian follicular cysts in dairy cows. Plus, research shows Fertigil outperformed Factrel for ovulation rates. Fertigil, the flexibility you need, the quality you demand. Now approved to get the job done. Learn more at dairycare365.com.
As a dairy producer, added value means everything to your operation. At Holstein Association USA, we understand value better than anyone. That's why we've developed Holstein Complete, a packaged program that combines all the premium services you count on from Holstein Association USA for one discounted price. This includes registration, membership, mating information, classification, pedigrees, genetic reports and production records, as well as discounts on records processing and genomic testing. Complete your herd today for more profit and convenience. Learn more at holsteinusa.com.
If you think your dairy cows are completely safe from internal parasites, think again. Cows returning to the milking line from grass or dry lots could be at risk. Keep them healthy and productive with Safeguard Dewormer from Merck Animal Health. Safe to use on lactating cows, a dose of Safeguard at freshening can help ensure cows and heifers are clean of costly internal parasites. Greater efficiency, greater production. That's what you can count on from Safeguard. Visit safeguardcattle.com to learn more.
Holstein America is sponsored by Merck Animal Health, an industry leader in dairy care solutions. Estrumate puts you in control of your breeding program. Use with Fertigil to improve reproductive efficiency within the herd. Visit dairycare365.com to learn more.
Ice cream parlors represent all that's great about America. So many of our favorite memories surround tables like these. It's an experience that wouldn't be possible without the registered Holstein Cow, which becomes more productive and efficient with each generation. Charlie Hamilton returned to his family's farm in the spring of 2018 after graduating with a degree in dairy science from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. He represents not only the highest hopes of his parents, but also exemplifies the strength and optimism of the U.S. dairy business.
I grew up here on this farm, and I have my memories around the farm, and I really think that that's helped define who I am. I was able to stay involved enough throughout college that I never lost touch with the farm. I always knew what was going on, and I never stopped caring about what was happening every day. And I think that's what really was one of the main things that set me off, that I really wanted to come back home. So our farm motto is live the dream, work to succeed, and we all try to embody that with everything we do.
I was always a big dreamer, right from meeting my wife here and working with the registered Holstein.
We have about 65 cow registered Holstein farm. We raise all our replacement heifers and sellable calves.
The first year the Herd of Excellence came out, we received the Herd of Excellence. It was probably one of the biggest success moments in my life, being recognized by the National Holstein as one of the top homebred herds.
Just a passion for the Holstein animal, the Holstein cow, and developing pedigrees and seeing when calves are born and seeing them grow up and develop into a beautiful cow.
I always felt extremely lucky to grow up on a farm. Just working with the cattle, I really enjoyed. Really got a lot of work ethic out of it, really a lot of self-confidence. I take pride in what I do. Wouldn't have traded it for the world. Well, I guess it goes all the way back to when my parents bought me their first calf. I was only 15 months old, but they bought it from my grandma's dispersal sale. And really, that was when my interest in the cow took off. Actually, Chariot here goes back to Charlie and my first cow, so it's become quite the cow family for me. Then when I was 7, I started showing, and after that, just got more and more involved in the Junior Holstein Association, first at the county level and then state and eventually national, and did just about everything I could.
When he speaks, most people want to listen what he has to say. And from a parent's perspective, when the room goes hush and when he speaks, that's quite an accomplishment.
He grew up and worked hard, and others recognized that. They recognized that he was a worker and that he had the passion, and he went on eventually to be named a National Distinguished Junior Member, and he was also named the Wisconsin Holstein Boy his final year as a junior.
He was on the National Dairy Challenge team, and I said now the biggest challenge comes the challenge of life. Now you got to make this place work.
I've had to step up and really put my best foot forward to help keep the farm going, and really decided that if this is what I want to do, that I need to work for it. And I think that's a passion that's really going to drive me forward going on.
For the last couple years, I've played the devil's advocate. I've thrown at him many scenarios. I never wanted him to come home because he felt he had to come home. I wanted him to come home because it was what he wanted to do.
Dairy economy right now is not the greatest to be looking to advance, but we can't always pick the situations. So probably the registered end is going to be a big plus on this place.
Obviously, making milk is the whole core of the dairy industry, and I think the Holstein cow has really been bred and developed as being the perfect milk-making animal, and has been tremendous for us in being profitable with our management style. I think what really makes the registered Holstein cow the perfect cow is that we as breeders can decide what we want to work with and then really choose how we manage with her. Kind of find a niche that I want to work in and really develop that to bring more value to my operation.
He'll always be my little boy. I just want him to be able to look back and be happy he made the decision he did when he was 22 years old and fresh out of the gate, that he can look back and say it was a good life.
A good life, a future for the family farm. That's the goal of the registered Holstein business, and the commitment that countless families like the Hamiltons have made to producing the world's perfect food, courtesy of the world's perfect cow. If you'd like to learn more about Holstein Association USA and how you can take advantage of its programs or services, visit HolsteinUSA.com. On behalf of America's registered Holstein breeders, thanks for watching Holstein America. I'm Michelle Davidson.